What about like homes built in the 60s to the 90s? There's some specific issues that I know that we need to really pay more attention to when it comes to those homes.
Yeah, and you could split that up into performance upgrades and then just issues with the home. So a lot of these older homes, I would say the things that stand out the most are the plumbing system, the electrical system, and the attics.
Yep.
So plumbing, the underground drainage system. If you're getting into the 60s, you're getting into something possibly called Orangeburg piping, which is essentially a death sentence for your plumbing system. It's an old paper-based product. If you have it, you are replacing your piping. But 60s, 70s, you could have cast iron. And typically by now it's 50, 60 years old and it's weathered.
Yeah.
And you get one chance to replace that without going through the slab. It's called sleeving or lining it.
Right.
You can do that. If it breaks, you're going through your slab.
Yeah.
Electrical systems are, even if they could be outdated, they could be modified and altered, so that could be a problem.
Aluminum wiring.
Aluminum wiring, yep, which is you can fix it, but like that comes down to it's more of an insurance issue because if it causes a problem, you may not get covered.
Right.
But you don't have to rewire. You can fix it, insert it like that. But then another thing with these older homes is the efficiency. I go up in an attic. You go up in an attic space right now in a newer home. You've got this big, tall attic space, a lot of cubic feet, a lot of air.
Mm-hmm.
In these small ones, like in Moon Valley, for example, the highest part of an attic is 3 feet tall. There's no air movement. It's hot. It's stagnant. Your roof is cooking from the inside out. That weakens your structure. It invites rodents in. So efficiency items can really impact your home. It can make it gross.
Yeah,
honestly, it really can.
Some of the really older homes will have really crappy old cellulite insulation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
even
no insulation.
Even asbestos.
Yeah, single pane windows, all that stuff right there. And
yeah,
you get that stuff like those old attics. You get really hot, and all of us have lived in a house like that where the AC shuts off, and all that air in the ducting in the attic starts heating up. And when the AC kicks back on, it pushes all that nice hot attic air back into the house. Like, what is that smell?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's talk about cast iron pipes for a second, and just sewer pipes in general. Start with sewer pipes that go from the house to the main sewer line in an alley or in the street, whatnot. That's not where you're going to see the Orangeburg. That's going to do you?
Oh, yeah.
Those are orange.
Cast iron under the home typically. Orangeburg starts in the yard.
Okay, it goes out to the main. Okay, and the other thing you'll see is clay.
Clay,
right? Which isn't as bad as Orangeburg, but it still can be problematic.
Clay's a great they're still putting clay in new construction.
Oh, is that right?
Absolutely. There's neighborhoods down in South Phoenix, off like that new 202.
Yeah,
I'm seeing it down there, brand new construction, and they're doing terracotta or clay.
Wow,
and it looks great. And clay can look like. Clay will hold up unless the roots get to it, unless it breaks.
Yeah.
But it's a good product.
That's usually the biggest problem is if you get a crack in that, and especially palm trees are notorious for these little roots. They'll get through that. They're looking for water, right? So they find that crack and they go right into the sewer line. And it's just an ongoing problem because you can have it blown out or whatever, and then they just come back.
They do.
Cast iron, that's a biggie. Well, before we go to that, we just had one 3 months ago on a sewer line that was a clay pipe that ran out to an alley, and the home was built in late 60s, early 70s. And my buyer, I told him, I showed him what it was going to cost for a home inspection, and he was really going back and forth on doing the sewer scope, okay? And the sewer scope is basically, for those of you that don't know, Dylan provides the service where he runs a line with a camera on the end of it all the way through the sewer lines under the house out to the main to see if there's any cracks or issues with it.
And we locate too.
And you locate it. That's right. Yeah. So in this case, finally talked my guy into it. I think it was $350, something like that.
Probably $250 to $300.
Yeah, $300. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But he finally said, okay, I'll do it. And sure enough, we found a problem. This sewer line ran from the house out to the alley, and we ended up going back to the seller, asking them to replace it. It was going to be a $25,000 or $30,000 job to do this. And because, sewer lines, they aren't shallow, they're super deep.
Yeah.
And
usually 4 or 5 feet deep at their shallowest.
Yeah. And they go down from there, right? Yeah. You know what they say about it, what flows down.
It does. Yeah.
But anyway, long story short, we asked them to fix it. They literally didn't have the funds to do it, and we had to walk away from the deal. But we saved $30,000 for a $300 or $250 sewer inspection. So, if there's what tips would you give to? Is there like a cutoff date when they stopped using cast? I've heard, in the mid 1970s.
Yeah, that's about it.
1980s.
Usually 70s I associate with cast iron, 80s I don't. 80s are typically ABS plastic.
Right.
That's when you start getting into that. But the 70s is, when I think 70s, I think cast iron.
Yeah.
70s and early. Yeah.
Yeah,
earlier.
and now cast iron, we're talking about under the house.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
under the house,
so
yeah.
yes, there are companies out there that can go out and sleeve these. They run like a plastic rubber type
the liner,
material, and they can line the pipes.
Yep.
And
It's trenchless.
And so far I've heard good things about it.
Right.
I haven't heard anything negative about it, but it is still a fairly new technology.
Yeah.
And the old school way is to literally go in and cut up all your floors under your house, which means you're taking out, when we're talking about sewer lines that aren't just in the bathroom and not just in the kitchen. They run the entire, across the entire house.
Structural walls, anything. They'll run under anything.
Yeah. So you're moving into your new house, and all of a sudden you're saw cutting your entire floor out to put a new sewer line in. They replace it with ABS. So there is that option of relining it, but the old school way and the surefire way is to go through and replace it with the ABS. So if you're looking at a house that was built, before 1980, spend the $250 to. I mean, I'm pretty much telling everyone, I don't care when it was built, just do it, because we just had one. That house that guy bought, that we ended up buying, we found a house that had the ABS. It was fine, but there was a bunch of wood chippings and stuff that ended up in one of the elbows, and it was causing water to back up. So, it was an easy fix. They just had to blow it out. But again, if we hadn't spent the $250, we would have never known that.
We found a $30,000 repair on a 10-year-old home recently.
Wow.
And it was ABS, but the way they sloped it, it was improper. As soon as I got to the cleanout, I was underwater. The line was completely underwater, and it continued for 20 feet under the home and 20 feet towards the sewer. There was 40 feet of submerged line, and the plumber was like, we have to dig up the slab and the yard.
Wow.
There's no way to fix this. Water was not draining. And when I got out of that, it was bone dry all the way to the sewer. No water was getting out there. I'm like, what is happening? You're like, oh yeah, we've had a plumber come out a couple times. And then they started telling the story. It was $30,000.
Yeah. And on the seller, we always talk about buyers when we talk about home inspections, but we need to talk about sellers a little bit.
We do.
And we talk about like what should be disclosed and that sort of thing. And a lot of sellers will have problems with their cast iron or their sewer in general backing up or whatnot. And they'll say, well, I don't need to disclose this because I had it roto-rootered and I haven't had a problem since. Well, guess what? You do need to disclose it because we've had it happen. I mean, the people that get you in trouble on this are the neighbors.
Oh yeah.
Okay. You buy a home.
Neighbors are snitching.
And 2 weeks later, your sewer's backing up.
Yeah.
And you're out, you find out you've got a $30,000 problem to fix, and you look at the seller property disclosure statement. It says, oh, no, we've never had a problem with the sewer. Well, you're out walking your dog that night, and your next door neighbor comes by and says, how's the house? Oh, it's great, except for my sewer's already backing up. And you know what they say? Oh, yeah, they've had roto-rooter out there like 4 times in the last year.
I thought the guy lived there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So as a seller, if you have that problem, you better disclose it because if not, you're going to get sued. If you're not going to get sued over $1,000 issue or $2,000 issue, you will get sued over a 25 or a 30.
Or you'll lose your buyer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, no, I'm talking about buyers that have already moved in and then they find out after the fact.
Yeah.
That's
like,
where
even during the transaction too. Like life can go along that way. Yeah.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
I'll have sellers disclose, not to get off topic, but I'll have a seller say, well, I'll show up to the house, hey, they replaced the roof.
Oh yeah.
And it's a big roof, like maybe a 3,000 square foot roof. And I find out like, oh, only 1,500 was replaced. I'm like, which should be a good thing.
Right.
That should be good news. However, they said new roof.
Right.
So instead of saying, hey, we gave you a head start on the roof.
Yeah.
We saved you $8,000 on the replacement. You only have to do the other $8,000. Nope. Now they don't care anymore. Now it's like, you lied.
Yeah, exactly.
And the buyer's gone.
Speaking of roofs,
Yep.
might as well talk about those for a minute. Roofs are a big cost, obviously. It's right up there with swimming pools and air conditioners and that sort of thing. Those are like probably the top big 3. And roofs are super tricky because, you can't just go buy. eyeballing it like an asphalt shingle roof. If you see shingles curling up, or if you see the granular stuff coming off, you know that it's towards the end of its life. Yeah. But you go inside and you look at the ceilings and there's no water staining or anything like that. Some people will look at it and say, oh, the roof must not leak here. What do you say at that point?
Well, I'm looking for a couple. I'm looking for fresh paint.
Yeah.
If they just painted, that goes in my report. They just painted. But then I'm looking for, and most roofers, if your roof is 15 to 20 years old, you're getting a quote for replacement. Yeah. That's just how it is. They're not going to certify an older roof. They're going to say it needs to go. When I do a roof inspection, I'm looking at the roof, of course, the shingles, the tiles, go through the inside, and I am sweeping those ceilings. I'm also looking at your window sills and your window headers, because a lot of that, even a choppy repair, they'll forget that. Or, they'll forget the fix the inside of a closet wall. They won't fix that area. But then we go in the attic. Yeah. Now, the attic is tricky because there are water stains in an attic space, of course. Yeah. I used to we would frame in the rain. So the wood can have water stains. But what we're looking at is on that attic floor, the insulation, you want to look for anything that has water stains on it that should be dry at all times. Okay. So the wood is one thing, and you can tell a roof leak here and there, but when the insulation has water staining on it, when the ducting has water staining on it, and it's an original roof, we know we have a leak. Yeah. It's guaranteed. Yeah. It's that.
And one of the problems we run into in Arizona is, it can go months without raining.
It does go months. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like, I always tell people, they'll say, oh my gosh, it's supposed to rain tomorrow. Should we get the home inspection? I'm like, hell yes.
Yes. That's the best time to do it. Yeah. Home inspectors are happy. Like, yes, hey, we love the rain.
Worst case scenario,
but a lot of things, just the other day I found one, well, not the other day, but it was when it was raining, because sometimes leaks take a while. Yeah. And even if it's leaking, it won't quite stain the ceiling, but you use thermal imaging. Right. And you will literally see a live stain right there that no one can see with the naked eye. Then you put a moisture meter on it and it's off the charts wet. So that kind of stuff. It's a process, but I know roofers know what they're doing. Roofers are really good at inspecting the roof itself, but I don't see a lot of them going in the house looking for leaks and going through the attic. Yeah. And I think you have to do all three to really give an idea. And as an inspector, what I'd say is I don't have a horse in the race. Right. I don't care if the roof has to be replaced or not. I don't get the repair qual. So I am fine telling you that a 20-year-old roof or even a 30-year-old roof is holding up really well. Yeah. And ride it out a little bit longer. But obviously you're going to expect leaks. Yeah. But right now you're good.
Yeah. And that's an important thing to bring up right now, is that your deal in this transaction, you are between you and the potential buyer of that home. Right. Not the agent.
Nope.
Not the builder, not the seller, obviously, not the home builder. It's an agreement between you and the person that's buying that home. So it's your job, and you're responsible to disclose. You're the neutral party. Yeah. You're just there to tell them what's wrong. You're showing them all their cards. They got to decide what hand to play.
Right. Exactly.
And then it's up to the agent to help that buyer negotiate those rates.
It is. And people are watching this and they're like, wait, you're a realtor and I'm an inspector. Yeah. And you introduce your clients to me sometimes. Right. So you guys are in cahoots. Right. It's like, absolutely not. No. Like, you hire me because you know I do my job. Yep. I happy to do inspections for you because you respect the process. Right. There are agents who do not respect that process. They have, what's the term, commission breath? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're and they'll actually tell me, massage, can you do it? Absolutely not. Yeah. And I'll tell people, I flare agents all the time. Yeah. we don't align. If you don't respect the process, if I'm describing an issue and you're right behind me saying why it's not a problem every time, that's not cutting it. No. Inspections are going to happen. You've got to look out for your people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Our job as an agent is just to look at the client and say, okay, here's how we're going to negotiate.
Right, exactly.
That's it. Exactly. It's not to say, I don't think this isn't a big deal. That is a big deal. Sometimes I've been doing this a long time, and I've got some experience in the construction world. So I do know in the back of my head what's important and what's more important than others. But my job is to say, okay, this is a problem, but this is a $2,000 problem, not a $20,000 problem.
So our job is to find as much as possible. Your job is to put it into because we're not allowed to say, hey, don't fix anything or fix it's up to you guys, but you can guide them on how to not tip the scale on what to ask for. We can ask for this, we can ask for this. If we ask for this, we're going to go too far and we're going to get rejected. That's how it goes. But
the other big thing is I've heard of a couple of home inspectors out there that have a side gig of doing repairs on homes. So obviously they're going to point out a lot of things
Yeah.
and say, oh, I can repair this, or my buddy or my kid who owns a construction company, you got to watch out for that.
There's also a gray area there. So an inspector can't perform repairs on a home they inspected for 1 year.
Oh,
The inspector,
right.
the home inspector, the name on the report. But if they own a company, someone else can do the repairs if they disclose it. And there's other things like sewer scopes.
Yeah.
I could literally own a sewer scope repair company.
Mhm.
The state who regulates home inspectors, they don't touch sewer scopes.
Mm,
Not regulated. So
okay.
I could literally go in there, scope it, and then fix it if I wanted. I
Okay.
think there's a
Yeah.
gray area there.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't, but
Yeah.
you could. So it is,
Right.
I would, that's why
It's
this,
better to,
we're impartial.
Bottom line,
Yes.
it's better to just stay in your lane.
Yeah, yeah.
you
I
know,
don't,
and
like,
do
I'm
what you
not,
do.
yeah, I don't benefit by things being wrong.
Exactly.
I'd love to give a perfect report every time.
Yeah,
It doesn't work that way.
I would too, but unfortunately,
Yeah,
you won't do that.
People live in homes and
Kind of pisses me
Yeah,
off that
yeah.
you don't do that for me.
people use flushable wipes too. That's another thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.